What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. The first part of this video, guys, is just going to be a sit down talk, and I'm just going to explain the 5 biggest mistakes that I made as a beginner when I first started lifting. So if there are a few of you that are brand new to lifting or people that want to get into lifting, please avoid these mistakes and you will see better results than what I have. So with further ado, let's get into it. So mistake number 1 I made, and this is the most important one, is consistency. You need to make sure that you're consistently turning up to the gym, consistently pushing yourself, trying to improve, and also dialing down on your nutrition and making sure that you're sticking to it consistently. And then when things start to drop a little bit, then you can up them. But unless you're consistent, you can't change things, for example. So if you're on a bulk or a cut and your calories are exactly the same and your physique hasn't changed for maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, then you can say you consistently have done that, and then you can make changes. What you don't want to do is diet for 2 days, stop it for 2 weeks, come back, do it again, because that's not consistency. You're not going anywhere, guys, with not being consistent. So that's rule number 1, is you need to make sure you're consistent. Put a couple of times a week towards your gym sessions. I'm not talking about 6 times a week, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, where you go to the gym, you consistently train at the right intensity, make sure you get the right volume in there and push yourself, and then over a period of time that will show results. You're not going to get them straight away, but as long as you're sticking to it for a time frame, so like 1 to 6 weeks, and you do that consistently, you will get results and you will see a significant difference as long as you're putting in the work and sticking to it. Mistake number 2, and I kind of knew about this at an early age. So I first started training when I was 15, 16. So you're talking 10 plus years ago. In order to get better, you need to push yourself, full stop. Okay, so if you're able to lift a certain amount of weight, in order to take your physique to the next level, you need to increase the load. You need to lift heavier. That isn't going to come overnight. Okay, that's going to come through weeks and weeks of dialing down on that weight and improving it and getting better and working on your technique. What progressional overload basically means is, say you can do 10 kilograms and you can, I don't know, chest press 10 reps. What you want to do the next week is probably go up to 12, and then say you can only do 6. Stay at 6, and then eventually it'll get a little bit easier. You can go up to 8 reps, you can go up to 10 reps. When you've hit that number, then you can go up higher and you can go to like the 15s, and you start back down on the 6s and you improve over time. So that's all progressional overload means, is getting better and making sure that your body is adapting, because your body is a survival machine. It's incredible, okay? If you do 30 minutes worth of cardio for probably 2 months, your body will understand that and it won't burn the same amount of calories as what it used to do. In a nutshell, is you need to look at improving. Now, that's not going to come overnight. You're not just going to dramatically wake up and hit the 50 kilo dumbbells. That ain't going to happen. There might be some freaks that can do that, but what you need to do is make sure that we've kind of got a target and we're going up and up and up. That is what is ultimately going to change your physique and make sure that you level up and take it to the next level. Tip number 3 I made was the typical bro split. So I used to do chest on a Monday, back on a Tuesday, maybe legs on a Wednesday, arms. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean with a general bro split. So each day had a different body part, and that was all right back then. The knowledge wasn't that great back then, but looking back at it now, you can't get away with that. Some people, that may work, but in order to get the most out of your training, you need to be looking at training your muscle groups twice a week. So this is why I generally would recommend a legs push-pull split or an upper-lower split, or just mixing it about. You can do different like body parts. You could do like, I don't know, posterior, anterior. What I'm just basically trying to say, guys, is just don't dedicate one whole day for chest. Put maybe 2 movements, 3 at the max, would probably stay at 2, and then do that. A typical push session would be a shoulder dominant, so the main focus to hit the shoulders. We'll do chest, and then we'll do tris. And then in the following week, when I hit it again, it will be more chest dominant and shoulder and tris. So you get your main focus of the body part you're trying to work, but incorporate different other muscle groups in there. Now, if you can only train 3 times a week, I'd recommend maybe a full body workout. But again, don't just go in there and just try and do 6, 7 exercises on chest, because it's not going to be beneficial. You will fry your chest, but you're not going to do anything for the next maybe 7 or 8 days on it. So look at bringing the volume down a little bit. Make sure the intensity is there so you're pushing it every session, but spread the workouts over the week. Tip number 4, and it's really important, is tracking your lifts. If you're going into your sessions and having no idea what you can lift and just going on how you feel, that's fine, but you're never going to push yourself to full capacity. You're never going to get the best out of yourself or the best version. And this kind of goes back to tip number 2, is obviously progressional overload. What we want to do is track our lifts and making sure they're improving. If it gets to a point where you can't actually increase the weight or increase the reps, then you need to look at changing your exercise. To be honest, I would just keep pushing through it. There's very rarely that you ever need to change an exercise. From a strength and conditioning point of view, there's probably about 21 exercises that you should be doing all the time, and apart from that, that's it. I mean, there's so many people out there doing these crazy lunges and curls and stuff. What's the point? Stick to the basics is what I'm trying to say. Right, let's get back on track with this bit now. So, tracking your lifts. So in order to get better, you need to understand what weight you're lifting, and then we'll try to go up to the next weight, and then we can track it. Another great thing about tracking your lifts is you can see how your body's responding on a 24-hour clock. So if you are run down, you can accept that that would be a bad session, and you can write that down in your logbook. So when you come back to doing it again, you can look and see why you were tired. It could be that you went out drinking one night. It could be that you didn't get enough sleep or not enough food. But what I'm trying to say is if you track things, you'll have a better understanding of how your bodies work, and you can make sure that you're in the optimal position to increase and get better. Also, it's a great way of documenting your results. If you first come to the gym, you can do 4 kilos on like a chest press. In a year's time, maybe you're in the 30s, and you can go, wow, I've gone all the way through that, and I've logged it down, and I can see where I'm getting better. So that's basically, in a nutshell, is it allows you to kind of work on the areas that you're not very good at, and it allows you to see what you're good at too. And the most important thing is what doesn't get measured doesn't get improved. So if you don't measure it, you can't really even improve in it and see the areas in which you lack or where you can get better. The next thing I'd probably recommend is doing my training on a 6-week cycle. So I would have a little goal for 6 weeks. I will work my ass for it. Or have a little deload. So a deload is just a decrease in volume. It's never a decrease in intensity. You should always train with intensity. A deload just means you pull back on volume. So say you're doing chest press, say maybe you're doing a top set and 2 back off sets. I would drop the volume and do 1 top set and 1 back off set, and then that way you can save yourself for the session. Because what happens is if you train with high intensity, your central nervous system will get battered. Okay, so that's like the inner system in your body when you're knackered and stuff like that. Like if you've ever done a session and went, oh, I can't move my arms and stuff, that's because you fried your CNS. So what I'd recommend is adding deloads. So just a week where you could either 1, have it off, or 2, just pull back on the volume, and then that gives you a week off, and then you can smash another 6 weeks. Nice thing about a 6-week block is you can really dedicate what you want to achieve in that 6 weeks. So if you wanted to bring up your chest, you can dedicate 6 weeks to bringing up your chest, see where you get to at the end of the 6 weeks. And if you're not happy with it, you can continue. If there's another route, you can change it. But it's such a short period of time that it allows you to really focus. If someone turns to me and says, look, I want to get abs, and I say, okay, how long do you want to do it? They might go, oh, I don't know. Have a goal set in stone. So that's why I like to do 6 weeks. We do 6 weeks, we see where we are, and then we go up or down, but we can change it. So for example, you could be on a bulk, you could be smashing it, and then you turn around and go, right, I've kind of had enough. I want to kind of take off some tissue. We can do that for the next 6 weeks. So the goals can continue to train, but it just gives us something small to focus on.
I hope Team you enjoyed that little segment of the 5 biggest mistakes. Now, this is some footage that I filmed about a week ago, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I'm just going to do a edit in a gym that I trained at, so fingers crossed you like it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. So in today's video, we're in Falcon Fitness. This gym is pretty sick. I've been to a couple of gyms in my time. Tunes, I pop in, vibe is good.
So I'm just going to give you guys a quick view of what the gym actually looked like. When I popped over there, I met the owner called Dean. He's a really sound guy. He's a pro bodybuilder, so this is his gym. So you've got some turf there, so that's their functional area. Over here is kind of their strongman and a couple of power racks and some specialised bars. And then the rest of the gym is literally just bodybuilding heaven. There's some Life Fitness, there's some Watson kit, and there's a Cybex hat squat, which absolutely killed me.
I don't know if I'm changing over. In the moonlight I can't kill this feeling sober. So I start to come alive. I don't know what starts to control me. I let it go
today's YouTube video. Again, as always, if you have liked it, give it the thumbs up. And if you're not currently subscribed, please subscribe. That would help out massively and help out with the whole algorithm thing. Just gets the numbers up and they do their thing. I want to give back to you guys. So I know the gyms have been open for a little period of time and some of you might not have an understanding of how to train, or you might not have a plan. So I've created a free 30-day plan that you guys can download. All you've got to do is go over to my Instagram. I'll put the name here. And then all you've got to do is go to my bio and click the link. We'll then come up with a plan. You can download that and that is there for you free of charge. And if you do download that, I'd ask you to do one thing. Just tag me in your Instagram workout. So if you're doing a session, just tag me on Instagram saying that you're doing one of my workouts. I'd really much appreciate that. This plan, like I said, it lasts for 30 days and it covers all your training. It tells you the kind of methods that I like to use for training and it's all writ out for you. And there's a little note section because I've spent a lot of time doing this, guys. Section, and I've spent ages trying to work this out, so I very much appreciate it. So it's basically to anyone that wants to get fitter, faster, stronger and leaner. 4 workouts a week over 30 days. You can go in, crush it, and you know exactly what to do. And there's a little warm up in there. There's some strength elements and there's some conditioning. It's basically everything that you need to get better in your training. And the best thing is it lasts between 45 minutes and an hour. So if that's something that you want to do and you want to get amazing results, it's completely free of charge. All you've got to do, go on my link and download it. You go out and download that. I'd really appreciate it. Also tag me. That will conclude the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Keep it real.